Well, guys and girls, this is what the Eagle looks like after a major, or at least significant ice storm as we start the week out with what's called a snow day at the schools. It's actually an ice day. You can see the ice on the yard. See the ice on the front deck. It's not snow. It's simply ice. These things are just exactly, well, they're simply, you see the trees over there? They're simply ice covered. Everything is ice covered. This began last night right about dark. My friend Red Berry and I and his beautiful lady Joan went out driving around right before dark and until dark last night, looking at deer and elk. And the rain started as the temperature hit 32 degrees. And as it fell to 31, 30, 29, 28, the rains continued as simply an ice storm. And this is what happened. It didn't bother us too much. We got back here and fixed a nice dinner. Really, really nice dinner. Some roasted chickens and baked potatoes. But halfway through the dinner, at about 8 o'clock, almost identically at 8 o'clock, the power went out. Ice on power lines is not good. Of course, OG&E was notified, and they're great at fixing things right in the middle of the storm. Not when the storm's over, but right in the middle of the storm. Not to worry, within about 30 seconds to a minute, our high dollar generator came on. And the lights popped back on and everything was good. The generator ran maybe for 5 minutes, sputtered around and quit. We were back in the dark again, total darkness. A little trip outside to visit the generator, looking for a reset button or whatever, didn't work out too well. It was slick as snot out there. I managed to, couldn't go down the ramp, it was too slick. Did manage to fight my way down the steps and can figure out nothing on the generator. But that's not a problem because we have been paying for the last 20 years a service agreement every month with our local heat and air conditioning, Hunter Heat and Air. And you give them a call at about 8:10, only to find an answering service who would inform us politely that it didn't matter that we had a service agreement. They don't do any service calls after 8 o'clock, even though we've been paying that service agreement for 20 years or so to get 24/7 service. So here we are. But thankfully, OG&E, and sometime in the middle of the night, definitely after midnight, my daughter got with OG&E a little bit more as the night went on, and they came on the ranch, and they were out fixing lines, and sometime in the middle of the night after midnight, the power came back on. The house had got pretty cold by then, and we did get a text from Hunter Heat and Air that we were scheduled to get an appointment on the appointment list sometime. So the monthly fee that we've been paying for years was just a lie. And we'll quit paying that fee. That's what we'll do, and try to find us a good air conditioning company. And hopefully get the generator fixed. And we have a good generator, the most popular brand there is, I guess. At least they say that far and away that 80% of the people have this brand, so can't figure out what might be wrong with that generator. But I guess we'll figure it out sometime before the days or week's over. All right. We'll take a little quick look out, and we see that the boat building out there, both my truck and Red's truck, covered in ice. You see the icicles hanging from the boat building there. A Ranger boat says, "Jimmy, please, please, please do not take me out in this." And I told the Ranger boat, "Okay, just for you, I won't take you out in this." But you can see that the ice storm is significant. And by the way, my little deal I didn't mean to be ugly about anything, but Hunter, I did cancel my monthly subscription with them because they told me it really didn't. They used to do it that way, but now they don't. But they did tell me that they could get out here tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow, and check my Generex generator. And I told them, well, OG&E had solved my problem somewhere in the middle of the night. So if they wanted to come tomorrow and look at that generator, they certainly could. And of course, they will charge me $100 to do that, naturally. But there's my poor old Ram truck out there covered in ice. And but it's 32 degrees, which means that that's all going to start melting before the day's over. We're supposed to get to a balmy 37. Red Berry's wanting to go fishing. Huh. Okay, here we are in the middle of the afternoon. And Mr. Red Berry and Jimmy Houston still have not yet put that Ranger boat in the lake and gone fishing. And you can see it's perfectly calm out there. Beautiful, beautiful day to go fishing. But it's raining even a little bit harder now. And the bad part, it is still solid ice on the decks. I got my doubts if we can even launch that Ranger boat off of our concrete boat ramp. I would imagine we might not be able to stop, and it'd be really dangerous getting in and out of that vehicle. So Jimmy and Red's sporting blood has kind of turned to something a lot thinner than what our sporting blood is. And Red just told me, "You know, Jimmy, I might have to back out of that fishing trip." And I told him, I said, "Red, you're probably going to have to go by yourself anyway. I probably had already backed out on you." But it's still not raining hard, but it wouldn't take you very long to get wet out there. It is a balmy 36 degrees or 37 degrees, but it's still slicker than snot. I'm not real positive that we can launch that Ranger boat. But I'm beginning to get a little bit more positive all the time that we're not going to try. We could always walk down and fish off the dock, but that's slicker than snot down there too. So I don't know if, I might see if Red will go down there and fish off of that. If he doesn't fall in, I'll go help him. Nah, it's just too dangerous to walk on. Now you can see it doesn't look like it's raining, but you can look at the water as I zoom in and see that it's actually coming some pretty good little rain down there. It's not heavy, it's just light wintertime rain. But it is, you can see the trees are still, even 37 degrees, still covered in ice over there. Look at that, covered in ice. Raining, 37 degrees. We're having no tournament. We don't, either one of us, have to prove to each other that we know how to catch fish, although he would probably catch more than me today, because me being a great host, I would let him. At least that's what I've always told him every time he beats me. But I'm thinking that Red and I might not go today. I don't know. Very possible we might not attempt that lake out there. This is a great look here as we look across the lake, and you see the water dripping off of our metal roof. You can see the ice on the trees. It's pretty doggone thick, quite a bit of ice on those trees. Where you can really get a good picture of the ice as you look across the lake. I'll just zoom out all the way, and you look across the lake and you see all that's out there across the lake as well. All of those trees on that mountain totally covered in ice, totally covered in ice. The ice is still, as we back away, you can see on that tree right there, the old dead tree that will fall down someday pretty quick if we don't cut it down. You can see the ice over there. You can see we still have ice on the front porch deck, extremely slick, slicker than snot out there. And but it's 33, going to get up to 37 today. Will be 60 degrees by Thursday of this week. So this is going to go away. Our electricity is back on. Hunter Heat and Air has called over here, one of their top guys, and explained to me what all the deal was. And it seems like that over the years they have changed that monthly program till it meant that they only put you on a priority list. It did not mean that they would come out at night or on weekends or holidays or anything like that. They would only come out you'd be on a priority list. My priority list is for tomorrow. They're going to come out and check my Generac. He also told me that you need to have a Generac serviced every 6 months or so, which they did not bother to tell me when they put the Generac in. And I told him, I said, well, y'all come out in the spring and the fall. Well, we don't service the Generac when we come out, though. And he also told me that the program that they have for putting you on a priority list didn't have any, it only was electrical. It didn't have anything to, it was only heating and air. It didn't have anything to do with electrical. So I guess he explained to me how you could have heating and air and not have electricity. So at any rate, basically wasn't their fault. But he did tell me the real problem, and is that Mr. Hunter sold Hunter and Air 2 or 3 years ago to a company out of Kentucky. And as I told him, to be honest with you, they don't care in Kentucky whether we have heat or air here in southern Oklahoma. So we are obviously changing companies, but I wish Hunter Heat and Air the best of luck. And they're trying, not very hard, but they are trying. And I appreciate what they've done over the years, even if it has not been very good service. And I think that hopefully maybe they'll pay attention to some of the things I said and try to make service a little better. But I kind of doubt it, because they're now not a local heating and air company that really care much about you. But anyway, I'm probably about the nicest person that they've ever had complain. And I told them I appreciate them calling me back. This is the first time they've done that on a problem in quite a while. But I'm afraid we'll find us a great place someplace else to take care of our heating and air. It's just part of living in this beautiful place out in the boonies. Folks don't want to come out here and take care of you, but we love them anyway. Oh my goodness, look at this. I want you to look at this. You know, we haven't seen the turkeys around in about a week or so, and Apache saw a bunch of them up around his house, which is 2.5 miles on up from the house here. And I just hadn't been seeing them. And I look out here on this ice-covered tundra that we have here. And we've been looking at it this morning. I know none of you really care about looking at ice-covered, because especially if you're looking out your window looking at it, you really don't. But you can see our boat buildings out there completely covered in ice. My Ram truck completely covered in ice. And the ground is completely covered in ice. So it's got probably a ½ inch or more of ice on the ground, on the trees. Evidently, the turkeys are having a little bit harder time finding good stuff to eat out there, so they've all come to the feeder this morning, which is good. I mean, that's exactly what we got the feeder for. But you can see there's some, a lot of those, that's that bunch of jakes, I believe. I'll get to kind of looking, because it looked like hens out there, but I believe that the majority of those are jakes, and they're just young jakes that were born this year. But I think that's pretty much all jakes, if not all jakes. I believe it is. There's 2 or 3 or 4 in there that's got some little short beards on them. You see the little beard on that one right there. And some of the others just got some little short beards on them. But that's a big bunch of turkeys, for the most part, that were all born this spring. Here it is, December. Those are jakes. That's a pretty good sized gobbler right there. Or either that and there's another jake behind him. There's a few in there that's got beards, or little bitty tiny ones beginning to pop out. But that is spectacular. That is absolutely spectacular. And just a thrill for me to see them, to be honest with you. I don't know. Somebody said we need to see more antlers and less feathers. And that might be true, but we see whatever we see every day here at the Eagle. And it's just right at, it's 32 degrees out there, so it's just freezing. We're supposed to have some more rain come at 10:30, but by then it's supposed to actually get to 37 today. Red Berry and I were going to go fishing, but I think we about decided we don't. There's some longbeards out there too, a couple in that bunch. They're leading the pack. There probably is 25 or 30 turkeys in that bunch. Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. That made my day. That made my day. All right, here we go. All those jakes that we saw a minute ago went out through the woods and they came back. And now they can hear me talking even though I'm in the house, but they came back and they're all in the yard. You can't see very many of them, but a minute ago there was a whole lot of them. But I was actually on the telephone with my friendly Hunter Heat and Air representative talking about why we still don't have any service from them. It's all good though. It's all good. Look at all those jakes out there. Now, none of those jakes will be hunted this spring. I promise you, we don't hunt jakes. But though we should have, if these guys can survive, we should have a lot of big breeding gobblers out there come springtime. And this time next year, them boys going to be sporting some pretty good little beards. No, none of them dragging the ground, but some pretty good beards. You wonder how big a wild turkey is? You see that crow flying out there? Looks like a sparrow beside those wild turkeys. Those are all young jakes. They were in an egg not too many months ago. Isn't God great? Okay, I'm gonna take one last look. I know this video is getting a little bit too long. We need to get out of it. Take one last look at our bunch of gobblers out there. Those are all young gobblers as they travel around through the woods. I think that's the same bunch. They've been in and out of the yard. They got scared out of the yard once. Benelli's not been out there or anything, but something scared them and they all flew off and then they came back and now they're out there trying to find something to eat in the grass. And the temperatures got up to 32 or 33 degrees. I think last time I looked it was 33. And so it's starting to melt out there. I'll take one last shot around the lake. The deer, of course, they've got a lot of hay and straw out there. They got buildings to get into. We're supposed to have rain for the next several hours, light rain. Yeah, it's not going to rain much, maybe a quarter of an inch or something. I need to put my rain gauges back out. I took them up. So probably didn't rain hardly any at all with this little rain we've had here. But there's the wild turkeys who have given us a real treat on this winter morning. We'll take one last look across the lake and end this nice little video.